Welcome back to the show. Holy cow. Because Brew's going to be out the next 2 days, we have a special Wednesday edition of the most motivational segment in all sports. So Christina went very early to the post office, talked to the Postmaster General, said, do you have any letters? And they said no.
Oh, wow.
So we had to go to the internet, the World Wide Web.
There you go.
This is from Joseph Stockman, who sent a tweet to Gianna. First things first. Petition to make the butterflies for the King of the Hill less realistic. My cat is ready to attack. Now, he attached a video here of the cat being no fan of the butterflies.
Wow,
so thank you,
so good.
Joseph Stockman. We will probably try to address that somehow. We're no longer going to use total green screen elements on it, but we will make one exception just for the Budley. Your cat also goes after Cowboy Brew. See how this one plays out.
That might scare him. I want to see how he reacts to that. All right, let's get to it.
Let's go.
Number 3, Chet Holmgren.
Wow.
Big game tonight, OKC and Boston. Some people think it's an NBA Finals preview. Look, OKC beat Boston fairly handily by double digits when they met earlier in the season. So not a must win, but still a big game. And what's critical here is that for OKC, their second best player, Jalen Williams, is out. All right, he gives you 21 points a game. Boston, good chance that they double try to get the ball out of SGA's hands and then dare someone to be the second scorer and drop a big night. That candidate would be Chet Holmgren. Now, Chet, I think in due time you will emerge as the second best player on the Thunder, but they need you to start doing it now. Tonight's a great opportunity to know Jalen. Show that you can be that second scorer. Now, earlier in the year, you did. That's the first 10 games or so. You averaged about 18 points a game. Got injured. You've been back the last couple of months. Haven't been that guy. Only averaging 12 points a game. Maybe they haven't needed it. Obviously, they've kept cooking. But I would like to see you start scoring more. Now, you know how highly I think of Wemby. You're not Wemby, but he was Wemby before Wemby. The 7-footer, handle the basketball, block shots, shoot the three. Chet, I think you're going to be a star one day, possibly a superstar. But here's the deal. If you guys, you and your teammates out there with the Thunder, want to surprise folks and win a ring or at least win the West before I think it's your due time because you're so young, then you got to be that, show that you can be that second guy without Jalen. No better time than tonight against the Celtics. Chet, I believe in you. I like Chet a lot. All right, at number 2, Giannis. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Look, congrats, Giannis. Another great year. Third straight year averaging 30 points a game. You will, be first team all NBA again. But the W's, my man, aren't there. You guys, the Bucks, are now after last night was a tough loss. We all saw, maybe it'll be in the weird and wonderful,
yes,
the great three-point shot by Tyrese Halliburton. But you guys are 4th place now, tied with Indiana and Detroit. And those two teams are playing better than you guys. Yeah, you guys have lost 3 straight, okay, and you're sinking fast. Now, look, all the other first-team All-NBAers are they're in the hunt, right? SGA is about to win the MVP, be the number 1 seed in the West. Jokic has the number 2 seeded team in the West. Jason Tatum, number 2 seeded team. Good chance of trying to get his second NBA championship. Donovan Mitchell, heck, about to lead the Cavs to their best record ever, including when the great LeBron James was there. And you guys are struggling with the freaking Pistons and the Pacers. And I'm not sure I like you guys better than them. So, look, since 2021, it's not like you don't have any help. I get it. The roster has holes, but it also has Damian Lillard, who's still a very good player, averaging 25 points a game. Since 2021, when you won the championship, you guys haven't been past the second round, bounced in the first round the last 2 years. I know you missed most of those playoff games, but if you're healthy, Giannis, this year, I need more than a first-round exit. Yeah. I'm not even calling for you to get to the finals. Be nice, but I need you to do some damage in the playoffs. For a player of your caliber is better than that. Giannis, I believe in you. All right, at number 1, go to football. Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones called you out. A football player, not a basketball player, from Duke called you out. A guy that has never thrown for 3,300 yards in 6 NFL seasons called you out. A guy that the last 2 years has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns.
Well, so is.
You have to, but still, called you out.
How did he call him out?
Listen, see, I've got the wisdom. You gotta. It's not all surface level.
That's right.
He didn't do it with his action or with his words.
What did he do?
He did it with his actions.
By wanting to.
Right? I could go to Minnesota and have a better chance of winning and be probably a backup. He looked at Indianapolis and said, oh my, I'm better than Anthony Richardson. Sure, I threw 13 interceptions and 10 touchdowns the last 2 years. He threw 12 interceptions and 8 touchdowns last year and didn't even complete 50% of his passes. Daniel Jones is feeling chesty compared to you, Anthony. What are you going to do? He's saying, I am coming to take your team. I know it'll be all smiles and supportive in the QB room, as it should. I'm advocating that. Okay. But no, Anthony, he is coming to take your job. He is coming to take your team. He is coming to put you on the bench. So what are you going to do? You got a lot more talent. You got a lot more upside. The Colts want you to be the guy. They want you to start. It's all there for you. You got to start now. In fact, you got to start yesterday. All right, get in the lab, take it personal, and do your thing. I actually believe in you because you got talent. That's the Bud List.
Great Bud List, as always.
Yeah, great Bud List. I almost want to put Daniel Jones on it on the fly just
Yeah.
because you came at Daniel Jones so harshly. But I'm going to go to the NFL as well. I'm going to go with a quarterback, Caleb Williams.
Oh,
What did he do?
He was on the bubble.
Well,
what did
he's
he
on
do?
the Bud List. It's not about what he did.
Yes.
It's about what he needs to do this upcoming season. We heard all the excuses last year, and we gave you grace, in which we should. #1 overall pick, but the quarterback situation there or the coaching situation there wasn't a great fit. Offensive line issues. Obviously, we know you had all the weapons, but we gave you a pass and we gave you grace last season. Now, here comes Ben Johnson. And we all watched what he was able to do in Detroit with a guy that doesn't have the same type of skill set that you possess. And so the expectation this season, shored up your offensive line, gave you exactly what you need. You have the talent on the perimeter, guys to throw the ball to. What we can't see is what we saw last year. You got to improve. And these were your numbers. And I know you had individually a pretty good rookie season. But your offense, points per game, 28, total yards per game, last, like sacks allowed last, and a lot of that was on you. Can't put it all on the offensive line. All of that must change this season. Ben Johnson even said, we're going to give you and provide you with all the support that's needed for you to have a healthy and great season. We shall see what you provide this team because the expectations were very high, not just of my friend and colleague to my left, but even of myself.
Yeah.
I had you guys making the postseason, and you let me down. I believe in your ability. It's not that I'm rooting for your team. But I believe in you. I believe in Ben Johnson. And what they provided you is all the things that you need to be successful. Will you rise to the occasion? I believe in you. Get it done.
Bravo. Bravo. He was on the bubble. He was on the bubble Bud List. And look, he showed enough more than flashes. He had some nice moments. So I think, look, he should be. I expect him to be good this year. If he's not, I'm going to be baffled, and I think this whole table will, except maybe Wild.
It's time for one
This
of the
should
most
be
up and down segments we do. Segment within a segment, the Sports Media Ombudsman. Is it going to be nice? Is it going to be mean? Stay tuned.
Last week was
Beautiful last week.
Yeah, so a tribute to
Real
Around the
nice.
Horn. Sports media ombudsman likes to keep people on their toes.
We know.
Because there is some what we call low-hanging fruit this week that I think a lot of people would expect the sports media ombudsman to ombud.
Very much.
However, we're going to stay with the NFL. Because a lot of people are on the NBA sports media ombudsman beat this week, so I figure I can step aside from it. So an odd thing happened yesterday as I'm scrolling the platform known as X, previously Twitter, where I read a tweet, a pretty anodyne tweet about a free agent signing. I scroll, and I'm like, why is the same exact tweet with the same exact wording with a double attribution to the agent that negotiated this contract showing up on my timeline from two different reporters at two different networks that work for two different companies? It was almost as if the agent had written the tweet and sent it out like, hey, good to go, fellas, and they both just copy-pasted it. And so then I checked a lot of these breaking news NFL tweets, and this is just a public service message to all of our NFL insiders out there. We care so much more about accurate contract details than what agent got him the deal. Because this last week, I've gotten a ton of as negotiated by, as negotiated by, as negotiated by. And what I haven't gotten a ton of is, wait, how much money did he actually get?
Oh, never.
Not what it, no, worth up to,
Yeah.
could be the highest ever, new money of. Can I just please, as a guy who does like to scour a Excel spreadsheet or two and figure out what's the dead money attached to this if this doesn't work out? I don't know. But I do know, great job by Nicole Lynn and Tori Dandy and Athletes First, all this. And who are we working for here? I would like to know, does anyone yet know how much true guaranteed money Sam Darnold got? I don't. Does anybody yet know? Hollywood Brown got 1 year, $11 million. I don't really think he did. Well, we can't figure it out. I do know who negotiated these deals. So next free agency, can we just spend a little more time of, hey, here's the real money and the real guarantees, and a little list tip of the caps to the agents who are telling you? That's all I'd ask. I think it's fair. I think it's in service of the fans, which is who we all work for.
Hubbs is saying $55 million for Darnold. Hubbs, do you have something on Hollywood
Yes,
Brown?
$55 million.
I know that
He doesn't know.
You don't think it's $55 million, Greg?
I know that
He
that's
just wants the brass tacks.
I get it, but that's how it works.
I will.
Because the agents are the one giving those numbers.
Well, but
I'm a fan of real money. Like,
You got to scratch their back.
You got. A guy signed today, and it was in the news. It was this player had 5.5 sacks 3 years ago. It was in there. I'm like, well, that's not helpful information at all, except it makes him look good, I guess.
I'll get down to serious business here. I'm putting dancing on TikTok on the bud list. Oof. Hate to break it to you. West Virginia head coach Rich Rodriguez met with the media, outlined his no dancing policy. Okay, two problems with this, okay? Very similar, take a page from the NFL. Solo dances, remember for a while, were shunned.
Yeah.
But the team celebration, all of a sudden, well, the team celebration was shunned. Then the team celebration was embraced, and guess what it did? You could tell team chemistry by the celebrations. So I think this is a miscalculation by Rich Rod. Really? You can say, hey, no solo dancing, but team dancing, I'm actually encouraging on TikTok. Second, need a small carve out for Country Roads from John Denver. You want a solo dance? You got to do it to John Denver Country Roads. You can't. I dare somebody. If I was on West Virginia, just to be annoying, I would immediately head to my TikTok, and I would do a nice little number from John Denver's Country Roads. Take me home, you know?
Take me home, West Virginia.
It would be hard for him to.
I mean, what are you gonna
knock
do?
that.
What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
You know what he's gonna? He would like it.
He would
And then the rule of law has fallen apart.
That's right. Can I add some, Brew, before you go?
Yeah.
Just to support my buddy KW?
Yeah.
I agree that when you're in a team environment, it is important for the team to always be represented. It would be like if someone on this show, for like this show's like TikTok or YouTube page or even their podcast feed, all of a sudden it's like, oh, here's all of them together, and then it's like, oh, and then this person's solo endeavor.
Oh, yeah, it's like when we do the Bud list, and you're like, time for my segment.
No, see, this is what I'm saying.
Time for my
That's
segment
not how.
called the Sports Media Ombudsman, which is a total departure from the idea of what we're doing. It just has the word Bud in it. Sorry, bro.
No, look. Rich Rodriguez and I are on the same page. I mean, what's one of the biggest things of this show? The break dancers. He's like, we ain't gonna be break dancers.
That's right.
We came to win football games, all right? And the team dances on the field, they're not in tights. They're in their football.
No, those are very tight pants.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.